What's up, nerds? I'm sad because I dug out of my closet my sweet Backstreet Boys shirt, and you can't see it on the camera, but let's see. See? Backstreet Boys. This shirt's from 1998. This is probably older than a lot of people watching this video. But anyway, I tried to make it so you could see it in the frame, but you can't. So that's life. Somehow I will move on. But anyway, I'm very excited for today's video because this is my first original tag. And what better to be my first original tag than a tag about boy bands? In case you missed them out, I'm obsessed with the Backstreet Boys. I will insert a photo here of me and my best friend when we did a lip sync contest in 10th grade to a medley of the Backstreet Boys. And we were robbed. We should have won. Whatever. I'm not bitter. It's been a long time. I should move on. And then I will also insert a photo from about 20 years after that first photo of my best friend and I flying to Las Vegas to see the Backstreet Boys the first week of the residency there. So my love is deep, it's enduring, and it's strong. But I'm not immune to the other boy bands. I love all boy bands, basically. I can't think of one that I don't genuinely like. So I was like, okay, I need to make a boy band tag for a boy band book tag. Like, it needs to happen. I want this to be my legacy, okay? So I've compiled, I think, 13 boy bands, starting way back with the Jackson 5 and bringing us all the way up to you'll see. So yeah, here we go. Here's my original boy band book tag that I'm so excited to present to you. I hope you guys at least like the questions, even if you're not as obsessed with boy bands as I am. The first question, the first boy band is obviously the Jackson 5. I already said it. And for this one, I wanted you guys to pick a book that's unique or very original, like, because they were like the original boy band, right? So for me, that is Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction, and I can't remember the other author, but this is a book about two people who stop time when they have sex. It's a comic book, obviously. Like, if that doesn't scream original and unique, I really don't know what does. And it's fucking weird. The second boy band is the Osmonds, a favorite of my own personal mother, and gave us the adorable Donny Osmond, who I have seen in concert. Yes. My mother's Mormon. Come on. Of course I have. I've seen Marie Osmond too. But anywho, for this one, I've chosen your favorite siblings. You can do brothers. You just saw the book, but I chose a brother and a sister, and that is the Johnny and Penn from Girl Man's Up. I've said many times whenever I bring up this book how much I love their relationship. Johnny is like the brother of my dreams, and it's just one of my favorite relationships actually probably my favorite relationship that happens in this book is the relationship between her and her brother. It's top notch. I love it. The next boy band I have is New Edition, featuring the weird Bobby Brown. And for this one, I wanted you guys to pick a book that was written in the 80s or takes place in the 80s. I picked one that takes place in the 80s, and that's Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. I love this book. It's one of the first books that featured a fat character that I actually got to kind of see myself in it. I know there's some things that have come out recently that it's problematic because of the Korean representation, but I don't know. I still really love it, so this is my choice. The next boy band I picked is Menudo, which gave us Ricky Martin. And this is a boy band from Mexico? I don't know. I'll enter it down here which one. But it was constantly changing. Like, the older members would age out and then they'd replace them. So for this, I decided to go with favorite anthology because it's like a mixture of authors. I don't know, it seemed like it worked. And for this one, I'm actually picking a book that hasn't come out yet, but that's Fresh Ink. And this is all diverse short stories. And the reason I picked this as my favorite anthology is because it's the first anthology I've read where I've like genuinely liked most of the stories. I think I skipped 2 because I don't like the authors that wrote them, but other than that, yeah, I really enjoyed almost all of the stories. So yeah, highly recommend. I think it comes out in August. The next boy band is the boy band that many of my peers grew up listening to in the 80s, but I feel like I was too young for them, but my sister was really into them, and that is New Kids on the Block. And for New Kids on the Block, I want you to pick a cheesy or fluffy read, and for that I chose Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. It doesn't, I don't know, I would call this cheesy, but it's very fluffy and light and fun to read. It's the perfect summer contemporary. It's about a girl who goes on a tour with her best friend. Think Taylor Swift. But I actually, when I met Emery, I asked her, or my friend asked her if it was about Taylor, and she said she didn't know who Taylor was when she wrote this. So, but you would think, honestly, you would think that this was inspired by Taylor Swift. But I absolutely love this book. I think it's such a fun, cute contemporary, and I highly recommend it. The next boy band is one from the early 90s, possibly late 80s and early 90s, but whenever I think of them, I think of the song I'll Make Love to You and Sexy Time. Okay, that's just what I associate with them. Also Motown Philly, but mostly I'll Make Love to You, and that's Boyz II Men. And so for this one, I want you to tell me your favorite smutty read. And for me, that is Leo Loves Aries by Anita Sunday. I did a full review, 3-minute review for this book, and it's just so fluffy, and it's not like overly smutty, but it's just smutty enough in my opinion. And I don't read a lot of smutty books, but I really, really, really enjoyed this one. So yes, highly recommend this one. The next boy band I have here is the boy band All for One. They, in the mid-90s, were covering a lot of country songs. I remember because I listened to country. They were covering John Michael Montgomery songs. But they are the only boy band that I could think of. And actually, I couldn't even think of them. My best friend told me. Because I was like, what's a boy band that has more than 2 ethnicities in it? Because so many of them just have like white or Hispanic or white and Asian. But Color Me Bad has, I think, 2 Hispanic guys, 1 black guy and 1 white guy, so it's more diverse than the other ones. And so for that, I want you to tell me your favorite diverse book. Obviously, if you're like me, you probably have a lot of favorite diverse books, but for this one, maybe try and do one written by a person of color. So for me, that is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I absolutely love this book. It was in my top 17 of 2017. It's so like well written, and I just can't wait to see what Nick Stone's gonna do next. And if you're going to do Contemporary-thon, it's a perfect read for Contemporary-thon, you know, like a darker type of book. Just from me to you, a little tip. Next up, we have the greatest boy band of all time. Obviously, you know it's the Backstreet Boys. So, they were the ones who broke ground to resurge the boy band craze of the late 90s and early 2000s. And for that, we are forever grateful, aren't we? Yes, I know I am. But so, and they're still going strong today. And they formed in 1993, and it's 2018, and they're still together. That's amazing. Yes, thank you. Bless. Thank God Kevin came back, is all I can say. But anyway, for this one, I want you to pick a long and enduring series that you still love reading. And I'm kind of cheating because this has been multiple series, but I'm choosing anything by Rick Riordan because they all link together. So it counts, in my opinion. I still enjoy reading Rick Riordan's books, and I think I always will, because he grows as an author with every new book, and he gets like more evolved and more diverse, and I'm always so amused by his stories. So yes, Magnus Chase is my favorite, but Rick Riordan is like the Backstreet Boys of the YA world. Next is kind of a joke, okay? Don't at me if you like NSYNC. Okay, I love NSYNC. If NSYNC reunited, I would pay a ridiculous amount of money to go see them. Okay, so I love them. They're awesome, fantastic. I was just listening to them the other day. So don't come for me, but this, as a Backstreet girl, you know there was the controversy, okay? Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. And of course, I'm obviously a Backstreet girl through and through. I love NSYNC too, but so for NSYNC, I chose an overrated book because Backstreet Boys are better. Who's still together? That's all I'm gonna say. So for that, I chose Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Don't at me about this either, man. I can't get into this. I finished it finally, and it's just not for me. And to each their own, but the format didn't really work for me, and I just did not care about the characters. But I'm keeping it because it's orange, and I'm a bookstore grammar, so it's staying. But yeah, this is a little overrated for me. The next boy band is one that I hold very close to my heart. because the main guy passed away from leukemia. And that's LFO. You probably didn't listen to LFO that much, but I know you know Chinese food makes me sick, okay? I like Girls from Abercrombie & Fitch. You know the song, Summer Girls. So for LFO, I chose to pick an underrated book. And for that, I picked 5 Stages of Andrew Raleigh by Sean David Hutchinson. And this is because everybody talks about We Are the Ants. No one talks about this. And this is my first Sean book, and I loved it so much. I still love We Are the Ants more, but this one is so fantastic and sad, and it's actually quite short. So again, perfect taboo book for Contemporary-thon. I'm going to make a video for recommendations. I read a lot of dark books. Anywho, this is about a boy who ends up living in a hospital when his parents die. It's really good. Highly recommend. It's very underrated, and more people need to read it. Next, I have... I don't know who's old enough to remember the boy band Together and the spoof movies that MTV put out. And that's another boy band that lost a member. The little guy, he passed away. But Together was they made 2 and a series on MTV, and it was so ridiculous but so funny. So for this, I want you to pick your favorite satire, and for me that's going to be Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I see a lot of bad reviews for this, and I see a lot of great reviews for this, and I feel like maybe people aren't realizing it's a satire, or it's not their kind of comedy, which I guess I can understand. It took me a while to get into it, but I got the audiobook, and I highly recommend the audiobook if you have any interest in reading this, because Libba Bray narrates it, and it's phenomenal. Moving on to something more current, we have the beloved and broken up One Direction. I'm sad, you're sad, we're all sad, but they all seem to be doing great in their solo careers, and we just all have to hope that unlike NSYNC, they will reunite someday. So, for One Direction, I got this suggestion from my friend Anna, who is a One Direction fangirl. And that is a series that has a lot of trash Tumblr ships, because apparently One Direction has a lot of ships. I know I used to ship Larry. I've kind of moved on from it, but it is what it is. It's part of my past. Just don't at me. Anywho, so for that, I'm to pick a series that has a lot of Tumblr trashy ships, but you still love reading about them and following them. And for that, I am picking the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I just grabbed the most recent one. There are so many ships in this series that we could invade North Korea and probably win with how many ships that could sail from this series. So yeah, this is definitely, One Direction doesn't have as many ships as this series does, am I right? But who else do they ship? I know everyone ships Larry. Are there other ships in One Direction? Comment down below if you like One Direction. And finally, the last one is the boy band BTS, which is a K-pop boy band that my godson absolutely loves. And this is also another suggestion from Anna to pick up your favorite book that was translated from a different language. And for me, that is A Man Called Uva by Frederick Bagman. I can't remember what language it was originally in, but it is translated, and it's still amazing even as a translated novel. I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's like just a lovable story about a curmudgeon, and I really, really liked it. I need to read more by him because of how much I liked it, but yeah. So those are all the boy bands that we're going to talk about in this tag. But there is a bonus question. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm obviously going to do it because I created the tag. And that is to name your favorite book that features a boy band. And for me, Honor Girl. It doesn't necessarily feature a boy band, but they talk about the Backstreet Boys like a lot. I'm trying to find the page where she talks about her undying love of Kevin Richardson. But let's just, I can't find it, but Ours is the Boy Band of Dignity is the name of this chapter. Like, come on. It's amazing. This is a graphic memoir, by the way. I've mentioned it before. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend it. So, yeah. Those are all the questions. This was a really long tag. I don't know that many booktubers who are as obsessed with boy bands as I am, but I do know Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads and Jane from It's Jane Lindsay are big One Direction fans, so I'm going to tag them. And of course, as always, I'm going to tag my best friend Melanie because she is my fellow Backstreet girl. Like literally everyone in high school called us the Backstreet Girls. What a great legacy, honestly, truly. It is. Anywho, I'm also going to tag my friend Kaz from Cats and Camera. You don't have to do it, but I want to tag her because she's my friend. And I'm still not going to pronounce her last name, but I'm going to tag Kathy if you want to do it. I mean, like, I understand not everybody loves the boy bands like I do. You don't have to do it. But since those are the people I talk to a lot on here, I figured I would tag them, and yeah. Please do this if you want to do it. I obviously want more people to do this, but I, again, don't know everybody that's obsessed with boy bands on BookTube. It'd be impossible for me to know, because not everybody talks about it incessantly. I wish they did, but yeah. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. It's on the block, had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I'll take her if I have one wish. She's been gone since that summer.